the person that I was going on about, the channel, was saying that this was some CNC machine. You can forget this is ridiculous anyway. But it was this area, this thing down here, which I said was a pot, and it is a pot, right? So I don't want to get into that, but if you remember, for those of you that didn't see that video, it's a shame, but for those that did, if you remember, he showed a piece of polystyrene. This is probably it, right? And he was drawing circles on it to represent a CNC machine. But the strange thing about this is that this is what it's for. It's how to make a foam bat for trimming platters, for pottery, right? For measuring different platters, plates. Okay, you use polystyrene on your, you spin them round on the device and draw lines, and then you can measure them. Okay, so the fact that he did that almost makes me think now that he even knew what it was for in the first place. But I'll leave that at that. I just wanted to show you it. So this was a pot. Well, it is a pot, and I will zoom in on this area shortly for you to have a good look. All this down here, all this loose sandy material, clay material, is what this is here, because this is almost just an imprint. It is so thin, you will see shortly. This wasn't done by hand. It might have been to kind of shape it, but the lines have been done with a tool, a knife or a scraper, right? CNC machine wouldn't get round the side. I'm not even going to mention CNC because it's not, it's a pot, and you can see where something was broken here, right? And this hole here is nowhere near the center. So for those that still think it was a CNC machine, well, they have to be absolutely perfect to make striations like this, but you wouldn't be able to do them that deep anyway. And no, it's not for churning butter. This is a pot that's been done with a tool, a scraper, a knife, right? And it's even got the top on top, so if you can imagine that breaking off, it would look something similar, yes? This is called a strong arm. And there's your potter's wheel, and your platter where you put your clay. This thing here lowers down into your clay, and you can make pots, bowls, faster and easier and more precise. It's mainly for novices, I suppose, or making larger pots quickly, which is what I think the site at Hampi, the two pillars with the holes in, did indeed have a bar with something like this on it that you lowered into clay to make the pot which was on the floor in the first place. That's what I think I'm looking at. Okay, so that's them two side by side. This is the thing that I made the error on, that made me delete the video that I made after that. And it was on these doors, right? And yes, they are doors, but I said that these were hinges. Well, he said in his video that these were hinges. So I jumped on that because he was saying that they were stone. Well, I knew these to be leaf springs. These are leaf springs, and you make them out of metal, right? And they take the pressure of something like a door swinging back and forth, or a car, you know, a chassis or whatever, to take the pressure off as suspension, right? They act like suspension. And if it wasn't for a comment on one of those videos, then it would have been left, and there would have been disinformation on my channel, right? Because they're not door hinges. These are for locking the door, and you will see on this next image. So you put a bar, an iron bar, a flat iron bar, probably with a little curl on the end so you can grab hold of it, and you put them down here, right? But they still wouldn't be made out of stone, any stone, because as soon as somebody came to break into this place, one hit on this thing with a ram would smash these things clean off. granite, any stone, does not like any kind of shock, pressure. They just break, right? So these were metal leaf springs in the first place. I just ran with what he said. He said they were hinges, so I ran with it, okay? So it's the same thing, but they're actually for locking this door. They're leaf springs. This is obviously a car, and they act as shock absorbers.